So I don't know how deep he is into this or not, but it sounds very interesting and like he's taking it very seriously, which I appreciate at least, even if
Yeah,
he's not religious himself. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And it again, we don't know with this new movie how religious a lot of these actors are.
Right.
Like, so people, you could say, "Hey, I'm religious," and you could be like Catholic or
Right.
whatever, but they might have some. Oscar Isaac, I think, has brought up his religion before, being because I think he is Jewish. The actor, I think that's
Mm.
whatever. Like, there's an interview he's doing because of course he's Moon Knight in the MCU, who
Oh,
is also a very Jewish character, and I remember him talking about it when that show was coming out. So it's interesting to see. Now, again, we got these newer creators and some of these actors talking about that more. I know for a while Letitia Wright was getting a lot of flack when she was talking about her religion. Who's the actress for Shuri in the Black Panther movies? I know she got a lot of
yeah. Oh,
flack,
yeah. That's right. She did. Yeah.
but
Is it Chris Pratt too?
yeah, he's also off and on
Yeah,
talked
he's
about
done it.
his
Yeah.
religion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Angel Suit's also doing that Gabriel show, which looks interesting.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Whenever that comes out, like there's been Christian media out there again for years, but I think
Yeah.
now it's getting taken more seriously because of how methods they're taking versus let's just take the whole story, tell it verbatim,
Yeah.
and we're going to use very similar imaging versus hey, let's make it interesting for the outside people looking in.
Yeah. I think to my knowledge, the first group that really did it right is VeggieTales.
Yes,
Hmm.
like which is weird because they also said they can't wasn't one of the rules in VeggieTales they couldn't be Jesus
Yes, there was never actually going to show Jesus as a vegetable.
because
That was one
well
rule they had.
because they are vegetables therefore they don't have souls or it was something like
So
that which
I
is
don't remember the
I don't know if
reasoning
I ever remember
exactly,
hearing
but
about that.
yeah.
because they I don't think they ever mentioned do they no they never yeah they mentioned Jesus outright
They mention him, but they
yeah but
never
they never
show
show him.
him.
I
Yeah.
think there's one point they do and I think after they didn't do it I don't know if you
Mm.
ever watched the Snoodle Tale, which is one of the first times VeggieTales tried going outside of the VeggieTales
Oh,
stuff, where they show the creator, but I don't think they ever show him, but he's like a dad and he's got like a big fridge he puts all the artwork on. It's like a whole imagery stuff they do with it. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. As a kid, I never caught on that they never showed you the vegetable, which I don't, I understand why, because I don't know how many people would have been like, oh, this is weird seeing
Offended.
Jesus
yeah.
as a tomato or a zucchini, like it's or whatever you want to make him.
I don't know. I watched kind of a documentary on it a little bit, and that's how I found out about
Mm,
the not using Jesus. And it was actually a suggestion by I think the creator's mother said don't
sounds
show
right.
Jesus if you're gonna do this. And I mean it worked and then but it did stories so well and it did catchy songs and they still had fun. I mean silly songs with Larry
That was great.
or earworms, man, they'll
Oh yeah.
stick in your head forever.
No, they
So
really will.
I just think they were the first ones to really did it do it right, and then there were a bunch of others that were just way too cheesy and just off-putting to everyone. But VeggieTales, there's non-Christian people my age who grew up on VeggieTales
Oh yeah.
and know some of those songs and stuff like that. So it's very interesting that we're actually catching up and getting a lot better quality now because I think a lot of people, the age of indie animation and indie artwork and people being able to come together and create outside of Hollywood and New York and all the big productions, you actually have this chance to be creative and do a lot of things with a cheaper budget or get a lot of backers through like Kickstarter and things like that to get these projects moving forward that wasn't a possibility 10, 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's cool